Hello and welcome. This is Japan, and we have a roadblock that just happened in NXT. Um, it was kind of a crazier event because they had a lot of stuff going on, so I figured we should make a video on the results and how everything happened. Because there was a lot that happened in here. We'll go from fame to fame because I think it's the best way of doing it. So yeah, first off, we had the tag match, which was Fraxium versus the Hardys for the TNA Tag Team Championships, which was crazy. That's just crazy in this day and age that there is another brand's titles that are being defended on a WWE event. Like that is just the progression of how wrestling has became, especially for WWE in the last like year. That is just phenomenal. No matter what, like if you don't like that type of stuff, like or you think it's too much, it's still a crazy thought. Like I personally like it. I like that this happened. Obviously, bringing the Hardys back, one of the best tag teams that WWE's ever had, even if it's just for a couple nights, is amazing. And it really, hey, Fraxium lost this match, but it still put them extremely over, and they lost in the most Fraxium way by them accidentally taking each other out, which again is still the best way for them to lose because it's always been their problem, and they can do that, and they still look good because what they were so strong that they took themselves out. It's not that bad. And obviously the Hardys are aging, but this match absolutely cooked. I'm gonna put it as probably one of the most fun tag team matches that I've seen this entire year. I personally would put it towards the very top as being one of the best. I definitely think this was better than their other match in TNA. I think they had it on TNA. Yeah, I was pretty sure it was on that TNA program. But this one definitely was better. I feel like the Hardys definitely showed up a lot more. Obviously, like age is one thing, but they were out there and they did great. I'm gonna put this in S tier. I know a lot of people would probably maybe put a little bit lower because of like age and like they thought the moves weren't as crisp, but man, there was a lot to love in this. I definitely felt like there was some. This isn't like a perfect 5-star match, but I would definitely put it towards the top for just being the most fun tag team match I've seen this year so far. Absolutely enjoyed it. Next up, we had Jordan Grace versus Roxanne Perez. I think this is Roxanne Perez's send off to the main roster. I'm hoping so because it seems like it'd be good. This one was like a tricky one because like Jordan Grace sold her like fake knee injury quite well. That it did seem like some of those botches were like they were supposed to be because of the injury, but they might have just actually been botches. I don't know. The selling was great, so it ended up working out. I think overall this match was a lot of fun. They definitely pulled out some stops. I kind of would be main gripe on it. I just think it should have been a little bit longer. I think they were just on the cusp of really having that good back and forth. If you would have let them cook for another 2-3 minutes, I think this match would have been a little bit higher. I think it was still an A tier match. I found it was really entertaining. It was fun, and if this is Roxanne's send off match, it was a great match. Plus, it puts Jordan Grace over in her path to being in the next top main event type stuff. Then we had the NXT champion versus the X Division champion Moose. Just a whole lot of meat going at it. just, just muscles and strength. Obviously, Obafemi I just always feels that he's in like an A to S tier area for any match that he has. I think he's just phenomenal out there. He shows his strength. He shows enough selling too on the other side where it actually looks like he's taking damage. He's doing it, but like also still being a beast out there. I don't know how some people can do that because a lot of people can't. They can play dominant, but they can't play being dominated or like at least being like having a struggle. But he did it great. It was a good match. Everything was really. I thought it was pretty good. I put it in A. I feel like it's the same thing with the Roxanne one. I just think it should have been a little bit longer because they didn't have it afterwards. Like you after you watch it, you kind of like, okay, a little bit more would have been good. Obviously, I think with this card they made it kind of tight because everybody had a pretty same amount of time for their match, but obviously. They could have hopefully, got a little bit more into it. But again, a match was great. Like I said, Obafemi doesn't miss. Moose was good. I haven't watched many Moose's matches, but I thought this was pretty good. Next up, we have Javon Evans versus Ethan Page in a street fight match. Um, they made work of that arena. Like they did so much good stuff and so much crazy stuff going for tables and the chair shots. I thought it was a really fun match. Me personally, I don't really normally rate street fights that high, but I would put this one in S tier. And also, just kind of like a side tangent, man. When Ethan Page got signed, obviously I'd seen him in AEW, and that's pretty much it. And I was like, oh, cool. It's cool that the WWE signs somebody new. You always like to see new talent, especially if it's from a different brand, because you can see some new stuff happen. But he's been a really good. Obviously, his mic skills are amazing, but even in the ring, he's put up really competent matches in almost every match that he's had, and he just looks good out there and is just developing, like talent around him, which is always great to see when you have somebody. Not, I'm not saying old, but he's on the older side that he could possibly be on the main roster when the call ups come. But like he's developing so many people with feuds and stuff because they look good. Like the Aura Mesa feud that he had originally, the Trick Williams feud, this feud, all of it's looked really good for him and his opponent. And I thought this match was a good culmination of the rivalry. At the end of the rivalry, or at the end of the match, the mystery faction attacked Javon Evans. Again, I'm not 100% sold on him. Again, we really don't know much about them or any point of them. Um, I'm hoping it gets turned around, but yeah, I'm not 100% sure. Then we go to the main event, which is Stephanie versus Julia. Uh, Honestly, we don't know 100% what is going on with this match because Julia, in all like news outlets, it feels like is hurt, and this is why they had the double title winner takes all type thing, so Stephanie could hold on to the title until Julia got better or until somebody else stepped up to that area. I thought the match was really good. The problem is, I definitely feel like you could definitely tell that like there was something off about it because they weren't going that full steam that if you've ever seen their first match together, they have, and they have like a good in ring chemistry. I personally would put this in A tier. I thought the match was good, but I definitely feel like a full strength. If they were both at full strength, it would have been different. And I feel like that's why we know something's up. Obviously, the title changed, and Stephanie is a double champion, which is very cool. She's very much deserves it. She looks good with two belts because she looked good with two belts when she had both of them in the independence that she was doing. So, yeah, I feel like it's kind of cool, and it sets up a really good rivalry between each other because Julia cannot beat Stephanie, and it makes a good thing if Julia goes on the mend and then she takes some time coming back. I think will be really good. Again, not 100% sure. We have not been told anything outside of it, but it definitely feels that way. The way she reacted and all that too. I feel like you could definitely tell there was something wrong. But yeah, I think the show itself was a solid, A plus, almost to an S tier just because those matches were so good. This was like a mini PLE on a regular Tuesday, and I think it was worth the watch. If you haven't got to watch it, it's definitely good to go in there and tell me what you guys think, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.